job with building the line moving on him when it comes to the tackle. He had another one descended today. Is that another example of that for him?
I don't know if I said the line moves. It just it's hard to gauge game to game, you know. So yeah, that was an interesting one. I saw most of it live, but then when you go back and watch it on video, I understand why it was rescinded. But some of that stuff is hard to see live. I thought we just got to get a gauge of where it's at every game, the best we can.
Then looking at today, was Jalen able to do anything today?
Yeah, he's continued just to manage that tightness. We didn't do much. We just did film, and then we did some breakdowns on the floor, and he was a part of that.
How good is it to see at least College getting up shots?
Yeah, no, great. That's what it's just a little bit of a pain thing. Once everything clears out, that it's nothing structurally, so seems to be in a good place.
And then even to have Devin on the floor.
Yeah, it's awesome. I didn't really expect it to be that quick. We were walking through stuff, and then you see him doing his stuff. So, yeah, amazing healer. I don't know how he does it, but what that thing looks like initially and where it's at seems to be in a good place. Those guys do a lot of rehab to try to get it right. So it's a lot of stuff that no one sees, but the time spent for Jalen, obviously, and Book right now to try to get it right, because they want to be a part of it, and they want to do everything they can to be out there.
The other thing I had was obviously Detroit, similar style, physical, the way it was the last game. What things outside of the physicality you think you guys have to do to get a win?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they obviously had a great season. They start with their defense. The way they talk about it, the way they play. It's kind of changed in the last couple years since JB has got there, and they take on the identity of the city. We were even there when they presented Isaiah Stewart the award, and you could just feel like that's what they are about. It's just very similar to us. We're gonna somehow have to get in their paint. They do a great job protecting at the rim. They force you to shoot it over the top, but they do have the wings and the size to not only take away the paint, similar to kind of what OKC has been in the past and this year. So that's the challenge. It's going to start there. It's going to be two teams that play really good defense, who can score enough, who can break down the defense enough. And we're trying to win a possession game against a team that does really good that wins the possession game almost every night. So good challenge.
How have you seen Ryan, when he's out there, create advantages for himself, whether it's his screening and that short roll pocket that he has, or just the defensive playmaking?
Yeah, it starts there. I mean, he got one last night, but even in transition, he's such an elite athlete. Can we get him in space? Can we kick it ahead to him to try to get on the rim multiple times? Obviously he has such great speed. That's the initial part. And then in the half court, can he cut, get on the glass, get us extra possessions? And last night he found the pocket, and he's really good at, after that initial action, can he get to the second action by screening and getting into that pocket? So I thought he was great last night. I thought he had a really good game. We needed all of it. And his athleticism tomorrow night and Friday night, we're going to need it, because those teams are big on the wing. We'll need his speed and athleticism.
What can you just say about the way he's stuck with it, despite maybe the corner 3-point percentage dwindling or going up and down throughout the season, just the way he's stayed level-headed?
Yeah, I don't even know what his 3-point. I mean, he brings so many other things to the game. I think every fan can look at the box score like that's one piece, but we look at his total game and what he brings, especially defensively, but his youth, his energy, his hustle, his toughness. We need it out there on the floor, and we understand this is his second year. So love where he's going, love that he's a part of us. We've talked about it since the summer, like what he does on a day-to-day basis is super healthy for this environment.
With the Cleveland connection, how much have you and JB compared notes over the years? Even do you kind of emulate each other's coaching styles?
No, we missed each other. Obviously, I came after JB left. Just always seen him from afar. There was obviously some staff that stayed over from his staff in Cleveland. Kind of missed him at different places. Yeah, I just respect how he coaches, that type of style. He's been, intern multiple times in tough situations, and now to get his gig in multiple places, he's had a ton of success. what they were able to do in Cleveland, and then now the turnaround in Detroit, and what they're all about. That's something similar to how we want to play, and kind of embodies what that city's about. So a lot of respect.
And then with the Dylan the Villain shirts, the giveaway to fans, how much is that kind of villain mentality kind of one of your
Do you think
tenets
I've
here?
seen this? I haven't. I've heard someone mentioned it. I'm not even sure what it looks like. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, definitely didn't expect it to look like that. Yeah, it's just that's who he is. So it's not like a alter ego. Like that's who he is. That's what he's brought. Not surprised someone hasn't monetized it. So I'm sure there'll be a junior here soon. Yeah, it's not surprising.
When you look at your pick and roll or handoff defense, it feels like at times you want to get over, but are you giving guys like that, like you talked about the license to go on double at times, do guys have the freedom to go like take a smart under at times or just take the fastest route just to lean on the point on the other side of the screen?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, personnel based. The offensive players heavy into that, but location, I would imagine, is some of that. Yeah, the goal is, you can try to script these things, but again, the way the game is played, sometimes it's unscripted. And, it's just they're out there playing their feel for the game, their understanding of what's going on. Some nights you may go into a game where you got to go over these guys, and all of a sudden they end up struggling a little bit, and the read is to get under, whatever it takes to just get a stop.
And then kind of to that point, you talk about the unscripted part with like when you're in rotation, or if it's like the X-out guy at times, it feels like sometimes they close out to like the shoulder to stop the corner pass at times. Are those just instinctual things that those guys are doing on the fly to just make that extra decision too?
Yeah, there's a rotation pattern that we definitely talk about. Sometimes just unique situations where the five is, where our five is, where the ball is, doesn't always go according to plan. And then one of the two teammates may react faster than the other. So that's why it looks like that at times. But we do talk a lot about just making the next effort, make them make one more decision, especially when that thing starts to get in the blender and they start to swing it. Can we just force them into one more pass, one more action, one more indecision, so then we can recover and hopefully get a great impact?
My last one. Grayson in the pick and rolls, last two games obviously without Devin and then Jalen as well. I feel like he's run as much as he has at any point this season in the last two games. How have you seen just the kind of angles and the location of the field that you use him in for those just kind of grow over the course of time?
Yeah, we're still learning him. I asked him today, which way, where does he want the ball. So we're still learning him. I think he's learning that part of the game for him. His shooting gravity changes how we can attack. A lot of times he'll just catch sometimes and shoot it from deep, but it really is a catch and shoot shot, even though it looks like he's about to play off the bounce. So that's part of it. His ability to then shoot off the dribble obviously helps. And then just his physicality and toughness when he gets in the lane, he's comfortable with bodies around him. So it makes pick and rolls a little easier to run with him. If you had someone that can't shoot it off the dribble or off the catch as much, that pickup point or that defender is going to change where they take you. So, yeah, we're still learning him. I think he's still learning it. That's kind of what I talked about last night, like a communication piece, player to player, player to coach. As much as we can create that right now in this middle part of the season, the helpful it will be for our offense.
Quick follow on Jalen. You out? Is he out for tomorrow or not?
Dwayne, we will send that report in about 4 hours. There's been no setbacks. He's still continuing to progress. We're into a back-to-back, which we're cognizant of it. But yeah, there's a plan. We'll see how he reacts to what he did today on the court, and then we'll head into this back-to-back to do what is best for him. Knowing that he wants to get back as fast as possible. We want him back, but we're going to be smart.
Well, I just have one last thing. How rewarding is it to see the plan you guys have for Mark has led to him playing this number of games?
Yeah, credit to him. I think day one, talked about him being in the weight room. We talked about it all preseason, like him not playing in the preseason, not much on the court, because we wanted to get him to this point. We got to get him to the finish line.
Right.
So, again, another back-to-back coming for him. He's been able to withstand, playing in those back-to-backs. On that second night, we really have to read it. But yeah, he's got to be happy with his own progress in this, and he participated. That's the best part about his development is he participated in it, and now the results have come. We're not quite there, but we got to get him across the finish line.
Going back to Dylan Brooks
Last
real
one,
quick. Yep. Obviously had the tech rescinded last night against the Nets. It's his third tech rescinded this season. Is that his reputation kind of preceding himself, or what can you attribute that to?
Yeah, I don't know the stats on how many overall the NBA rescinds, how many they give and rescind. We just approach every situation like individually. Do we think it was fair or unfair? Support our guys the best we can in some of those situations where we know there's emotion involved. We know there's a lot going on. So after the fact, when the emotion kind of dies out, was this fair to him or not? So I don't know the stats around the league, but we're happy he got it rescinded because we thought that's what was fair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you, guys. Yep.